Good morning. It is Thursday the 24th. We're getting close to Memorial Day, which I will not be in here on Monday. The Memorial Day was at the 28th, I think. So there probably won't be a video of the day. You never know. But anyways, this is a science video. I'm uploading 3 videos, trying to upload 3 videos today. Blue Lotus and then 2 of these. This science video is a little different. The first thing I want to do is brag. My son's test floor has been made. Okay. And don't knock on, I did the actual putting it together to show him how to do the hot gluing. And it's not without problems, obviously. Like there's nothing in life tends to be perfect, right? So I mean it's got its issues, but it's very solid. It already supported my entire body, so that's not quite 1,000 to 1 yet, right? We don't have enough weight. I need like 250 pounds. Actually, I think I specifically need 234 pounds in order to make this a 1,000 to 1 test. It only weighs 3.75 ounces. So, and then I think actually we'll bring down by getting some weight off, might bring it down to 3.5 ounces. And I'm super impressed. He designed it. He designed this. He changed up his columns. You know, the columns I had him design, they look good on computer, but they don't translate very well to manufacture. So instead of square columns, he just double glued some sticks together. So you have 2 sticks, and then so there's 4 sticks altogether. But that saves weight, right? Because before it was going to be 4 and 4, so that would have been 8 sticks. It would have weighed more. And there was a problem. He had to add some extra sticks here, but it's no big deal. I didn't put this thing together with aesthetics in mind, so and I did 2. I made 2 mistakes here in putting it. It doesn't matter though. It supports all the weight that it needs to, and I'm sure that it'll go easily. It felt very solid. I didn't want to try and jump on it, but it felt like it could take a pretty substantial downward pressure. So I'm really proud of him. I just want to say that before he has to present next Thursday. There will be a live stream for that, and hopefully people catch that. He'll present his work, and I mean it's just look at that, just that design is just so beautiful. I can't get over it. Obviously, I'm a proud parent. Don't hold it against me. Look at that, man. I'm just super proud of my son for doing that and his project. He's done all the slideshows himself. I wouldn't even hardly look at it. I'd just comment, black and what was it, blue on red. It's like that's hard to view. So he's put it all together in slideshow. He has a remote in the computer. He has to use the 3D software. So I'm just really tickled with him. And he's at home doing physics right now. He's doing his physics calculations and things like that. We'll see how he does there. He's a little out of practice. I forgot to give him a matrix to multiply. But anyways, so this video, I was writing last night about the Aether, and it's a historical background for Our Magnetic Universe paper. And I made the point that mankind has always been postulating that there was an Aether or heaven force or whatever you want to call it, because we observe that something happens, and then there seems to be a way in which things are guided along. Whether we're talking about karma or causality, there seems to be an underlying fabric to how everything works. Yet no one's ever found a separate Aether. Like no one's ever, through the Michael Morlison experiments, they proved that you don't have to have a separate luminous Aether in order to pass information, electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves are their own medium. They're not like ocean waves that need water to pass through, or sound waves needing air to pass through. In point of fact, electromagnetic waves are the ether, right? And so we've really had it with us all along. This right here, and that's real. That's not something you have to guess about. All right, this is, dark energy, dark matter, antimatter. Have you ever seen antimatter? They tell you it exists, but have you ever seen it? Right? I'm not saying I don't believe in quarks, but I mean, you can't see one with an electron microscope. You don't know that those things are real. But what you do know is when you put these magnets close to each other, something special is going on. And it's real. It's concrete. It's something that you can't define it, and yet it is definable. It is definite. It's tangible is the word. And look at how. I mean, I'm not a beefcake, but I'm not a slouch either. And even when I get these really close together, unless I fine motor skill it, I mean, they just really don't want to go together. And you can feel them from far away. Right? That is reality. We live in a society that wants to focus on the things that aren't real, that might be real, the multiple dimensions. Those I postulate are real, but I cannot prove that they are real. I can tell you that you can enter in different quantum streams. That is for it is a concept of helping you to improve your outcomes in life by choosing to be positive, by choosing the better path. And although it is a science and it does work repeatedly, and is not something you're just hoping that confidence carries you through, it is something that you're actually doing and you're achieving better results, and I can prove that through life in terms of deductive science, in terms of laboratory science. That is not provable because you can't step in the same stream twice. And for us to spend billions of dollars on something that we ultimately can't prove in the laboratory, to me, seems kind of crazy. We might as well spend those few billions on life sciences that we know work, right? We know if we do certain things with the soil, we can guide water into behaviors that will help us to have more water later. We're not doing those things. We know that we can create topsoil with tillless farming and with mulching, and at the same time it would help the forest by thinning them of weak and unnecessary trees and cut down on forest fires. We're not doing that either. So I realize that this video is not going to go to policymakers, and it's not going to go to scientists who run Fermilab and CERN and the Large Hadron Collider. I understand that. But every person can carry forward an idea. And you will encounter other people. You never know. One of you might be the person that meets a future Charles Steinmetz, who ran the R&D division for General Electric, or a future Tesla. And if you meet that kid, I would hope because they are dreaming and they're in a state of creating potential futures for humanity, if they start spouting nonsense, you take them aside. You say, listen, the things that matter in life are your health and your family. And as far as things that are real, you need concrete proof. And if you want to talk about things that are invisible, that are affecting you, and you're not talking about your religion, but you're talking about something, at the store, in the car, everywhere that we are at, you start right here, the electromagnetism. Because that is absolutely really happening. And I know that we can all feel gravity. However, we haven't been able to really test gravity without being here on Earth. It's not like we have a station on the moon or in Mars or somewhere sufficiently far away, and then we're able to look back at the Earth and kind of observe how gravity is behaving here. Right? We don't really truly know how gravity is working. We have a lot of good guesses. But one thing we can do is rely on this electromagnetic force, and we can define our universe, and we can define how things are behaving using electromagnetism. There's a lot of strange behaviors in electromagnetism. Superconductivity, piezoelectricity, van der Waals forces, right? The Bose-Einstein condensates. All these kinds of behaviors are due to rearrangements of the electromagnetic force. Birkeland currents. We need to take seriously our job of investigating these things and stop destroying our planet. Burning fuel to get energy is barbaric. Tesla said so 100 plus years ago. And it's endangering human lives. It's endangering human food sources. It's time that we move beyond it. It's been here with us this entire time. And yeah, I know we're using it to generate the electricity to run the walls that charge this phone and to run the computer. But there is electromagnetism everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's charges flowing. Even in this drywall. I mean, they're not going hardly anywhere, and they're not going very fast. But the wall is full of charge. The air is full of charge. And we can all feel it. When the weather shifts, you can feel those changes. When the moon changes position, you can feel it. We're also focused on politics and religion and the sports and everything, and we think those things matter. And I mean, in some, the human story matters. I don't think that individually, I don't think an individual sport matters or one event, but it matters in terms of the human story and what we're telling ourselves, what we're teaching ourselves about our heroes, about the fallen, about redemption and being a champion. That does matter, but this is the one thing that has improved the world's quality of living just immensely. Now, there is an argument to say that people in the forest don't need this because they've got everything they need. But now we have 8 billion people, or 7 billion, between 7 and 8 billion. And we've got to do something better. And the only way that's going to happen is if we harness more than enough energy to make the food for the people. We've also got to start digging, and we need to be on the moon, establishing research stations and mining. We've got to learn to live the way nature works. Spending trillions of dollars on weapons that can end the world, and on billions of dollars on media about the end of the world is not going to help us. And I want you to get yourself some, and really, if you haven't done this in a while, right? Life is full of things. Sit there and contemplate that invisible force. There's your Tao, right? We've all been talking about for years about this ineffable Tao that is indescribable, and there is a state of being, okay, that it's totally, it's not just psychological, it's not just some placebo, but there's a frequency in which you behave and the world works better. This is part of that quantum data stream thing. And maybe that is Tao, yes. But there is something obvious, right? It's ineffable, and yet you know it's there. From my research, that's what the Chinese were on about. They were on about these thunderbolts. They were on about electromagnetism happening in the sky. And now we have it at our fingertips, right? They didn't have this 4,000 years ago. They didn't have lodestones until, like truly strong lodestones, until the Christian era, or near to it enough, like Middle Age or Dark Ages Greece or later. Perhaps the ancient Egyptians and perhaps the people before had it, but there's no proof. We don't know for sure. I have my speculations there in my paper that I'm writing. But right here is the power that can change human fate. And what are we doing? Something to think about. And hopefully if you meet the next Tesla instead of me, right? If you meet that kid, you have the ability to guide them morally as well, so that they don't perform like an Oppenheimer and create a fusion bomb, but instead that they take this power seriously and they want to improve the human lot so that we can survive the next cataclysms and so that we can be better stewards to the planet, be more efficient. We should have enough energy and nothing to stop us to where we can build overpasses. All our freeways should be overpasses so that the wildlife can run below. We shouldn't have to be driving and potentially running into deer. This is stupidity that's still in us and immaturity. We have the potential, but when can we make it kinetic? If you want an assigned reading, go read Tesla's, this very short book on increasing the human energy, or human momentum, I think it is. So you can find it online, just Tesla increasing human energy, potential energy, momentum, something like that, in PDF. It's a short read, but he makes it very clear that there are certain things obstructing us. And he obviously lived before Velikovsky's work, so he couldn't have known. If he'd have known, I think he would have been all the more excited about electromagnetism. Oh my gosh, if he'd gotten to work with Christian Birkeland, it would have been amazing. And Birkeland was limited in the powers that he could create for his Torella experiments. If he'd worked with Tesla, he'd been able to make as much power as he wanted. Anyways, that's all I have on this video. I hope you have a good day. I hope that you have a good Memorial Day weekend. God bless. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you later in another video.